Okay, so theoretically we are now streaming. So yeah. So in the time since the last stream, I've got another couple of mods, the most important of which I'm going to be using right now. So I have got a mod that gives me some additional faster coaches. So we're going to here and we'll modify and we'll take these guys off. So yeah, I got a mod. It contained a some British Pullman coaches. So yeah. So we'll need at least 6 of them to have the same basic train. So I'm just gonna do one of each of those, and then a couple of third-class ones, and then a brake coach. There. And that should let that train go quite a bit faster now. So, anyway, yeah, let's go on ahead and fire things up here. Yeah. And I do think that looks a little bit better, matches the train a little better too than the American style. Yeah, these are British Pullman coaches rather than the American heavyweight Pullman coaches. But the most important thing is that they have, I believe, a 200 some odd mile an hour speed limit versus the 180. And this version of the A4 has a limit of 203 kilometers an hour. I mean, not miles an hour, kilometers an hour. So this will let this actually get up to speed, which is going to be kind of nice. So yeah, this train can actually do a proper fast service. So yeah. Yeah, we definitely still have some stuff to do with this map. I actually kind of like to try and get it finished up, though. I think that trying to cram my city so tightly into this peninsula, while the whole peninsula thing is kind of cool and does allow for a lot of stuff to be done with boat-type traffic, I think that it wound up severely limiting my ability to do some of the cooler stuff with the station. Because in my personal game that I was running for a little while, I was experimenting a lot more with a terminus station and various like turning around loops and stuff. Like in the outer stations, it's pretty easy to get stuff like that in, or at least places where they can like go out and then they basically ways of turning your trains around so that it looks a little more realistic, basically. And I'd like to be able to do a little bit more of that in the actual series games. So in order to do that, I will need either a larger map or to do a different style. I think the next map is going to be a island one rather than a river one, just because. But yeah, I'm definitely still figuring out exactly how I want to do this sort of stuff, but I don't know, that's half the fun of the series, is doing various things. Let's see. I believe this guy is only speed 170 on the engines, so that one's fine with those carriages. Yeah, I think that one A4 is the only really faster engine that I was using at this point. Yeah, at some point we're going to start upgrading to electric engines, but not yet. And yeah, I'm also considering adding another train onto this grain line, just simply because of how much it seems to be moving through there. Yeah, I think I'm actually going to go ahead and do that, just because it does need to be done. So yeah. Let's see. Well, actually, I believe I had one of the although no, we don't want to make any of the trains that are already on it any longer because they're already pretty long. Yeah, let's get one of these guys on. Yeah, that'll work. And we'll go into the cargo, and we want gondolas. And I think I'm going to use the Asian style one for this just because. Yeah, that hopefully is going to be long enough for this. And let's see. Do we have any of the older style brake vans still? Nope. But I know I do have a an American style caboose, so we'll use that because I do want to continue having some form of brake car on the back of any of my trains that only have a single engine. And then this is going on line 37. And hopefully that'll be enough to actually get it up to its full rate. Let's see. So, come on, pull up the line. Oh, it already is 773. So, I don't know if that's shipping 3 or 4 farms worth of grain. If it's shipping 4, it actually needs a rate of 800. So yeah, I actually think I'm going to add a couple more. Let's see. Yeah, looking up there, the other one had 15 gondola, or 6 had one more gondola than this, and it actually did have enough room. So I think I'm going to add a couple more onto both of these. So let's add like 2 more onto that one and 3 more onto the other. Or no, we want it the other way around, because that's the one that already had the 15. There we go. Come on. And we'll want to keep an eye on this, make sure that we don't have any issues with the stuff getting tangled. But anyway, that's actually giving us a little more than enough rate. So, but better a little too much than a little not enough. Hopefully, there is enough going back the other way, because the older trains on that line have the wagons that can pick up the food as well. And actually, looking at that, we appear to not have enough food capacity. So I think I might actually need to add another one onto that line that's just food, or try and get more of those universal cars somehow by scavenging from the other lines. Yeah, I think I am gonna have to add a one or two dedicated. Oh, and it just dropped to 690 for some reason. Well, we'll have to let it run for a little bit, see what's happening, but yeah, I definitely think this is going to need more food capacity, and potentially more grain capacity as well. Yeah, I do wish that I've been able to get that container flats mod to work. I'd like to be able to do like modern style universal freight cars. But whatever. Anyway, so let's get out of these windows. So let's see. So we do actually have a couple of things that aren't hooked up yet. So this tools factory isn't hooked up at all. Although for that we'll want more planks being produced. Let's see. So yeah, so we were gonna run those two things of logs down to that one, and we were gonna run the extra one up here over to the other. So yeah, well, I think we'll go ahead and do that. Yeah. Oh no, okay, so that one's being run somewhere. Oh no, that's the mill, sorry. That's the one we need to hook up. So yeah. Let's see. Yeah, and I am sorry if I haven't been being on as much lately. I'm gonna be having my AP exams fairly soon. Basically, exams for college level courses that I'm taking in high school, and so I've been needing to put more time into like preparing for that and doing online classwork with everything that's going on. So yeah. Anyway. Yeah, I think I'm gonna bring this around behind those switches rather than trying to come in quickly in front of them. I just think it'll come out a little nicer. And then I'd rather not use that double slip coming in, so we'll put another track going from there. There we go. And we can extend that station if we need to, but for now, let's just get a line in. So yeah, I think we're gonna run this through the main hub, because we've already got one coming that way delivering planks, and that'll need to have a rate of 400 eventually anyway, so we can have a rate, so that'll also be enough to bring back the logs, because even using like modern cars, the logs and the planks are the same, wagons, so yeah. I sent it to the wrong thing. Yeah, I sent it to the truck stop there. Let's see, what track did it get sent to? Track 9, huh? Okay, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I think we're gonna need to split some of these larger platforms at some point. Just simply because we're starting to run out of room to run trains in. In fact, we are using one side or the other on every platform except that one, which is only accessible from this side. And in fact, it's only accessible from this side coming in from that direction. And I actually don't think I have anything that I am going to be, oh, nah, maybe it's like steel or something. Yeah, I'll probably find something to run into that, and honestly still probably need some more platforms. Dunno. But anyway, so yeah, let's get a couple of trains onto there. And let's see. So we want some of the modern style state cars. We'll get the let's go with these ones, I think. Yeah, let's put 20 cars on. And now that we're getting the big engines, I don't think I'm gonna bother doing an engine on either end. I think I'm just gonna do a caboose on the back and get just one of the various large engines that we have. I mean, I could do like one of the streamlined ones, like, yeah, these guys, I mean, they do have plenty of power, and actually, these might be a little better because they'll last into the area when we have the faster freight. Actually, I actually think that I'm not going to do that. I'm going to, move some engines around. It's apparently we got a new coach. It's only 140 though, so not that great. But yeah, I think I'm actually going to move one of my older streamlined passenger engines. Let's see. Yeah, this one. I think I'm actually going to move that engine onto the freight. So yeah, we're gonna modify this because the one variant on the A4 can go a full 210. No, we don't want that variant. We want the unlimited. Basically, that one just goes as fast as the engine can go, rather than being limited to the speed limit of whatever railway. So yeah, we're gonna have that and those new passenger wagons. Not those ones, the ones from the mod that I recently downloaded. These. And so that had 5 of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Which means this actually needs more than the previous one had. The previous one had only 4, so this is actually going to need a decent few carriages. So yeah, we're gonna. Oh wait, no, we don't want the ones with the wood though. We want the ones that are default blue because we can color those. So we'll do. And I'm putting them on the train in a different order, but I'm still going to do all 3 first class. And this time I think I'm going to do, like, at least 3 of the regular 3rd classes. And then I'm going to put on a brake car. And that'll, yeah, and that one, max that, because the carriages are top speed 210, so that lets the A4s get up to their maximum speed of 203. And this will do us until we get the high-speed electric trains in the 2000s. Yeah, I'm actually going to modify that, and then this one can just be... Okay, good, it is already in the depot. That's awesome. So yeah, we will modify this and put the, because that has plenty of power to run a cargo train. So yeah, we'll use this for the new cargo train. Okay, we want to bring this up to 360 capacity. There we go. And put that on. And this goes onto the newest line. So now let's see what's the rate on that. $441. So yeah, that's actually pretty close to perfect. I can actually probably get rid of, like... Okay, so yeah, I can probably get rid of, like, one of these cars. There. And I think I'll actually uncolor... Well, no, I'll leave this because... Yeah, I'll leave it colored. So yeah. And this had been one of our passenger engines. And this will actually haul even the very most modern freight at full speed, because the fastest freight ever gets in the base game is 160, and I don't have any mods that give me any faster freight cars than that. I mean, right now freight is only up to 120, but I can actually upgrade this to have the very fastest freight cars, and this engine will still handle it. But now the passenger train is going to be even faster. So that had been, yeah, that passenger train, which I need to go in and color, but it's now going to be even faster. So yeah, we now have a couple trains like this, which, but once again, like, obviously I don't like the fact that they, reverse backwards down the line. And I could just, turn off the no flipping mod, but it's like, I would rather have my trains reversing down the line than having them flipping over at the stations. What I really wish that you could do is have it be like, instead of flipping, have it just run, basically switch the engine onto the other side and leave everything else the same or something. Just something like that, so that, I don't know, just lots of things like that are, realistic railway practices for reversing train direction that you just really can't do. It's like either flip it over or find a way to actually turn the entire thing around, which, I mean, I get it. It's an artifact of the way they actually do the vehicles, that you can't tell it to, like, automatically swap cars or whatever. But still, just a bit annoying, I guess. But anyway, rant aside, so theoretically, well, let's come over here and make sure that we've got a 400 rate on this line. And I don't want that. I want that line has a rate of 331 right now. So let's put a just like one or two of the modern state cars should more than do it, and adding another engine on would also help. I think we'll go with one of these guys. We've been using a lot of the large ones, and I'll get a reversed one just because. And we'll move that up to the front of the train, and then we'll add, like, say, 2 of the modern state cars, because we can't get any more of the old flat cars that we had been using for the planks and the logs and stuff. We have to use the either the more modern style ones or the slower, older style ones. Which, I mean, that is part of the challenge that I wanted when I was when I decided to run with the no end date turned off. I did want to, you know, have to gradually switch over to the more and more modern styles of freight car. But it is so convenient, though, having those universal cars. Just, it does look, you know, more and more out of place having these, you know, old style wooden British freight cars, you know, at the back of, say, a massive American big boy or other similar large modern engines. But yeah, and that's now got a couple of state cars on the back. Actually, I'm going to keep an eye on this train. I want to see if it will be picking up logs on this run. I don't know if that log train will have had enough time to get there, pick up logs, and get back or not. But if it has, I'll be able to see this pick up some logs, and then I'll know for sure. Yeah, and I think I might actually switch up that little goods yard area there a little bit, because I have some coaches in it, and those coaches are like really old style coaches that I definitely don't use anymore, so I might get rid of those and see about putting in a couple of more modern ones that'll match the current map a little better. I think I will still leave the old engine asset, just simply because with the style of the rest of the map, how we tend to, you know... Oh, wait, you flip? Oh, that's annoying. I thought the mod setups that you don't. Oh, you shouldn't be flipping. Oh, that's annoying. Apparently my no flipping mod isn't working on that one for whatever reason. Ah, okay, yeah, you are still heading down. Yeah, you have a long way to go. But yeah. Yeah, he just got slowed down because most of the various trains on my system are still the 96 km/h cargo trains. And that's part of why I would kind of like to be able to make a larger map, because just capacity wise, like, it only barely ever gets worth quad tracking on these smaller map sizes. Ooh, I think we might have an issue here. Oh, no, never mind. Yeah, that guy can still get out. Okay. So yeah, we just have to wait for that fuel train to load up and get out of our way. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's one of our Black Fives, the one that we colored up to be Henry. Yeah, and I definitely am at some point going to try and actually do a recreation type map on the island of Sodor. Like, it's definitely doable. Like, height map, like, topographic maps of the fictional island do exist. And it wouldn't be too hard for me to make a map for it, but I just would need to actually, do so. But as I said, I don't think it's really particularly worth it until I can do, like, larger map sizes, and my computer can only barely handle even these small ones. Like, just it doesn't have enough, graphic capacity for it. So, but, I'll want to upgrade my computer at some point here, and when I do, I will be able to do more of that sort of stuff. But till then, I think we're just going to continue doing the sort of thing I'm doing here, with just doing like regular free play type maps. And I also might try out running some of the other games that I do own on this channel. Yeah, it might be kind of fun to show you guys something like Dwarf Fortress. Yeah, Dwarf Fortress is definitely a bit of a weird old game that I know I at least haven't seen on YouTube before. Yeah, Dwarf Fortress is well known for a couple of things. Some of the most significant among those being its ASCII art graphics, the fact that your dwarves tend to wind up dying horribly through no fault of your own, and that one time that the entire community got on board with figuring out the best way to commit mermaid genocide. So yeah, in the game for a while there, the one of the NPC races, the mermaids, for some reason their bones wound up being worth like a stupid amount when made into things, like as material value. And so a massive portion of the online community started figuring out the best ways to like trap and kill mermaids, and it actually got to the point that the developer wound up changing it so that there was no longer any point to it, just so that the community would stop being so horrible. Like, the Dwarf Fortress community is honestly somewhat known for being pretty horrible in those respects, but I mean, it's still a cool game. Just see. Yep, and this does say it still has enough rate. That might go down a little bit just due to the fact that, you know, getting stuck at signals occasionally, but yeah, I do really want to make sure that this works, though, because I've noticed a couple of times, like, things either not picking up from the hub or just going to completely the wrong place or whatever. And yeah, and this is actually definitely going to decrease the rate of some of these other lines. At some point I might go through and change those level crossings to be like bridges or tunnels or whatever, but oh, hey Amber, nice to see you. Glad to have somebody listening to me ramble on while I enjoy playing Transport Fever. So yeah, right now we're just making sure that this logging line is actually going to connect up properly. It's running back into the main hub, and I want to follow along with it, make absolutely certain that the stuff actually comes back out. Well, it looks like I made... Oh, don't worry about it, Amber. I get it, everybody's got stuff going on. Let's deal with that little bit of random, unnecessary catenary there. Yeah, I think a lot of the stations probably have been put in with catenary just because that's what they default to. But yeah, I hope the Sky Storm's gonna start coming back on at some point here. But fortunately, I'm nearly done with my school stuff for the year. And when I am, I'm probably going to wind up making a whole lot more total content, just simply because, you know, I'm not going to have any schoolwork or anything to actually be doing, so I have no reason to not just be making loads of content. Just wondering, Amber, how do you think you'd feel about me trying out some of the other various games that I have? Like, I don't have like a massive selection, but I do have a couple of other somewhat oddball games that I might try doing on stream. Just obviously not going to do it if my very small viewing audience isn't, you know, into it, but just thinking. Yeah. Have you ever heard of a game called Dwarf Fortress? That's one that I'm thinking about doing. As I said a little earlier in the stream, Dwarf Fortress is a weird old game that is best known for its old-style ASCII art graphics, and the one time when half of the game's community started plotting the best ways to capture and kill mermaids. Yeah, Dwarf Fortress is both a wonderful and horrible game. It's honestly really hard to play, even in an ideal scenario with really good players, which I am definitely not. You tend to wind up with all of your dwarfs dying horribly no matter what you do. But it's still funny, some of the crazy things that happen. I think the weirdest one that I've had happen was I wound up having a dwarf make a gauntlet out of another dwarf's bones, is the weirdest thing that's happened in my games so far. But yeah, some crazy stuff can happen in Dwarf Fortress, let me put it that way. I don't know. One thing that is for sure good about Dwarf Fortress, though, is that it definitely will not be a problem for my graphics card, because Dwarf Fortress actually uses text graphics rather than 3D or even regular 2D graphics. like all of the graphics and animations are done through generic text characters. So yeah, that's actually real cool. So yeah, I think I'm gonna try and get the rest of the logging stuff hooked up in today's episode. I don't know. Maybe I'll let's see. Yeah, maybe I'll try and do a episode with Dwarf Fortress tomorrow afternoon. Just have some fun with the chaos of it. But yeah. But yeah, I do have a few other games as well. I have one called Endless Sky. It's a sci-fi type game that's currently free and in early access. Hey, we just got our first high-speed electric train. I don't think we're going to be upgrading though until we get the ones that are like really high speed, because we've actually already got steam stuff that can go up to 203 kilometers an hour, which is already pretty good. So yeah, I said I don't think I'm gonna bother with the Shinkansens, but yeah. Anyway, well, actually thinking about it though, with the way I've been doing the game up till now, I don't know if doing the high-speed trains will ever really be worthwhile for this map, just simply because I've been putting in all of the cargo trains, and all of them are a bit slower. So I think that any really high-speed trains that I do would just be so tangled up behind slow cargo trains that it wouldn't actually be, at all worth it. And I think this little bit I'm actually going to do with one train doing the whole bit of this delivery, because this can just supply that, which is like literally right over there. So yeah, we're going to need a cargo station in right here. And then I think I'm just going to put in a terminus here. But yeah. One thing I've noticed is that in Transport Fever, like, whichever direction I want a terminus to be facing, it always seems like whenever I switch from regular to terminus, the terminus is always facing the wrong way. Like, I don't know. It's probably not, like, actually a thing, but it feels like it is. But yeah. And, well, let's see, this is going to need a rate of 800, and it is decently long, so I'm probably going to need to, double track this bit. Although, yeah, because they could get snarled up on that station. Oop. Speaking of snarled up. Oop. Okay, yep, I honestly expected something like that to potentially wind up happening with this train. It's a bit too long for the station it's been routed into. But fortunately, if I remember correctly, and if we pull up the terminals here, Yeah, we don't have anything going into Terminal 12. So if we take the thing on Terminal 10, and we'll send it into Terminal 12. And then we'll actually... No, we now want to configure this and combine terminals 9 and 10 there. Yeah, and I think I'm just going to leave that little bit. Actually, no, I can remove this and then put in a oh no, I had that as a thing to let passengers pass through nicely though. Yeah, no, I'm gonna keep that in. Don't remember what canopy it had before, but it has this one now. So yeah, I'm not gonna combine terminals 11 and 12 though. I'm just gonna put in a little bit of track right there, and we'll leave that just regular broken, because I don't want to actually have a place where the passenger station actually touches the tracks in here, because if I do, it's going to wind up changing the way this stuff basically it's going to make a passenger icon pop up as part of the station, and when you click it, passenger seems to always pop up first. And I don't want to have to deal with that, so I'm actually just going to leave that section of empty ground in the middle of the station there. Yeah. There we go. But yeah, now we need to grab train 45 here and tell it turn around, pull back into the station, and that should allow it to pull and now you also need to go away and make room for the other train to pull in, because you're now moved to a different platform, and it can go around and do one. Now actually, no, I'll grab it and flip it around again. Let it come in and drop off those goods. Now let's see, does that guy fit now? Can he pull in far enough to actually turn around? Ooh. Wow, yeah, he is. Hopefully that's enough. Yes, that was enough for him to turn around. Okay, just barely though. Wow. Ooh, and I actually think that one can't turn around anymore. Or oh no, he can, because those ones turn around up there at the massive set of double slip switches. Yeah, we would have found out by now if other stuff was having difficulty turning around. I don't think I've tried any of those games, Amber. The main thing is, being a broke high school kid who is about to go into college, I don't exactly have a lot of money to put into buying games. In fact, I think that Transport Fever 2 is literally the only game that I have wanted enough to actually, pay money for it. Like, I've had a couple that I've, tried out, technically not legal copies of, just because I wanted to try it, but I think I actually did that for Transport Fever 2 and liked it enough that it was worth buying. Cities Skylines, I do have a cracked copy, but I decided that it wasn't really worth buying it because I didn't think it would be much fun without, you know, all the DLC and stuff. And it's like, it would be worth it if I got everything in the game for, you know, just game price. But since I'd have to dump, like, you know, probably over $100 into actually buying enough of the game to be worth it, it's like, nah, I'm not doing that. So, but yeah, I'll look into those though. Yeah, yeah. If any of those three look like first they look like things I think I'd enjoy, and secondly are either cheap enough or free, then yeah, I'll definitely try some of those out. Let's see. Yeah. I know that there are underground station mods here for Transport Fever 2. I think I might need to look into some and see if I can do some underground cargo station stuff. See if I can maybe like nah, just like with the way this is laid out though, I don't think I could get them up out of the ground in time. I mean, yeah, that's part of the issue with this whole peninsula thing, is everything's just so squeezed in there that I think my only option for adding additional cargo space would be to, you know, just level large chunks of the city. Although, I do have, though, on both sides, cargo trains that are coming up, so I could, potentially, like, put a station here, and run those two up into that, and put a station, like, here, maybe, and run some up into that from the other side. That'd give me a couple more, platforms to get the stuff that it's, like, down this way. And worst case, I can just, break in half some of those, like, really long trains, and then, I can use the same trick I used there and split the station to get extra platforms. But yeah, like if I pull up the lines menu here, it's like, yeah, I'm using both of those. Oh wow, that one's actually being used by two different things, and I actually don't want that. And yeah, and those can go into there. Although, yeah, no, I don't want. Although, actually, those are also, the other side of them is being used, though. Okay, so, let's see, so, the thing's going in. I know the one going into track 5 is way too long. Let's pick up the ones going into track 6, 7, and 8. But 44, 54, and 55. So let's see, so 44 is decently long. Although not too horrible. And 55 is real long. We might be able to squeeze, the line 44, and line 44 is also a single engine. Oh, that's on track 6, that wouldn't do too much good. Let's see. So, yeah, it's 56 and 25, so, those guys, how big are those? Or how many trains are on those, I guess, would be the more accurate thing, because if it's like one train on each of those, you know, 25 is the one log train, and then 56 is, oh, what? Okay, apparently 56 has, oh, okay, yeah, I was gonna ship stuff out here and it wasn't forwarding correctly, so I gave up on that. Okay. Yeah, we can actually get rid of that line, so yeah, we are than not actually, and I believe there is another one that does come. Let's see. Oh no, I did actually need 56 there. Oh, okay. Yeah, apparently that was a machines run that I never actually put in. Yeah, and I definitely can't do more than 10 of the modern style cars going out of just one side of the station. So yeah, I do actually want to put line 56 back in. So yeah, we need something that can haul machines. So yeah, we want it coming out of here. And actually, yeah, I think I'm going to continue with my thing of starting to upgrade the various passenger trains slowly to that. Now that I have that really fast one, yeah, that'll do. So yeah, I'll manage this guy, and I'm also going to grab the depot here. And so yeah, this is 52 capacity. Ooh. Okay, I'm gonna need to pause and then sort that out. We just had another thing get tangled up. Yeah, so no, we don't want the generic one, we want this one. And we only need 52, and since it's going faster, we can probably get away with just 4 of those things. Although we also did just get the British Rail Mark IIs, which, oh, those are like, yeah, 2 of these would be enough. But I actually do want the longer train, and so for this, that doesn't need that much capacity. I think I am just going to go with these. Yeah, this is a new mod that I downloaded fairly recently. So yeah, we're going to do. Yeah, I don't think we're going to bother with the kitchen and. Actually, yeah, I think we'll put on the bar, but not the kitchen. And then we'll do a regular 3rd class and a break. That's should have about the same rate, because whenever it's not being held up behind something else, it'll be a lot faster. So anyway, let's see. That train number 45 is just causing all kinds. Oh, can you not switch directions there either? Come on, you. Oh yeah, no, you definitely cannot switch directions there, can you? Okay, so first things first, we need to get it to crumple up on itself, just to temporarily solve the situation. So yeah, that'll put it on the correct track. Obviously, you know, not a very good solution. We don't want to be doing that in order to turn our train around, but for now, that'll get it out of our way. And if I can actually remove that signal. There we go. And now, yeah, I just need to extend this station by a lot. So, yeah. Come on. Quit being stupid, mouse. Yeah, I think that mouse-related technical difficulties is starting to become a staple of this series. Losing mice, having mice die on me, having mice that just give terrible performance and don't actually track well. Yeah. I think that part of the issue is that I just don't want to bother actually, you know, paying up for decent quality mice. And because I'm not, and you get what you pay for, and if you pay for, you know, a cheap, low-quality mouse, well, that's what you're going to get. Or... Okay, so with any luck, that will be enough for this train to actually pull all the way into the station and be, you know, able to turn around. Yeah, nothing particularly useful there. Don't really do much with the trucks. I don't think I'm actually going to bother with that Class 37. Yeah, I got that mainly because I believe, I know that one of the, various, like, minor, diesel characters that popped up in the, Thomas stuff was, or at least looked like the, Class 37, so I grabbed it just in case. But, anyway. Come on. Well, let's come over here and see, is the little shunter here still doing enough? And it does appear to be. Oh yeah, I put that in as a little shuttle service with some of the slower passenger stuff. Yeah, he's doing fine. Apparently one of the cargo lines here isn't though. See, not that. Are you going to the one that's having trouble? Yes. So, line 31 needs another cargo tram. It's been a while since we added the tram. We've been doing a lot of stuff with the train. And hey, we got a bunch of trams in here, so... Yeah, let's check a couple more on line 31. Actually, yeah, let's go over here so we can actually see where line 31 is going. Yeah, it's the one that's going like all the way out there, yeah. And now that the town is starting to properly spread out that direction, that would need a decent amount, wouldn't it? And let's make sure that the stops out here do cover everything. And no, they don't. We actually are going to need to... Oh, that's interesting. What'd you do a silly thing like that road for? Yeah, they're definitely starting to grow out a decent ways past what I'd originally gridded out for them. And in typical Transport Fever 2 fashion, the AI can't build roads to save its own life. So we're going to do it for them. And apparently I didn't lock that road, so it's turned all ugly. So actually, I'll leave that, because that's like a back alley type. It's not too ridiculous for it to be that, but anyway. Yeah, I'm gonna entirely strip this bit out. I think I'll leave in that slightly curvy bit, though. That's at least going in the right general direction. And we'll use these, I think. Well, we want to do less buildings. And actually, yeah, nah, that'll work. I think one more. But I probably could get away, though, with just putting in one through it. I know that means that I, demolished a bunch of those extra buildings for nothing, but... yeah, bring it out to, like, there-ish. Then we'll take this road. Actually, I think I'll wait and put that road in once I've gone out as far as I intend to. And this one I think will come in a bit as we turn the grid structure a little bit that way. Actually, yeah, there we go. Well, let's just bring this all the way up and in. Or down and in. Whatever, all the way in. And now that this whole section is like city roading, I think we'll upgrade most of it to that big road. Yeah, because I think before too much longer, the two cities are actually going to like mush into each other and just sort of join up into one, which honestly I'm totally fine with. But anyway, yeah, we're going to take a single straight road out from there, and let's just run it straight on into that intersection, shall we? If the game doesn't crash on me. Oh dear. Ah, there we go. Yep, and it will go right on into that intersection. And it did not crash in doing so. So yeah, and let's get the large, not the extra large, because we want it to at least sort of match the old street that we have there. But it needs to be the electric tram track. And we'll just go ahead and go in as far as it'll let us with this big road. Which, if we redo that with a with stairs instead of the main thing, for now I'm just gonna have that funky little hourglass. Oh no, and we can't actually. Now I don't think I'm gonna bother, but I do think I'm gonna see if I can't. Yeah, I can get that through, and I will, because I genuinely dislike the modern tiny road. It's just, I find it irritating. But anyway, so yeah, we're gonna want to add the electric tram track onto this whole thing. Eventually we're gonna extend the tram network all the way up there, but for now I'm gonna see where I need to get a another cargo one to just barely spread to those buildings. So probably that one, maybe. Yeah, I think right there is going to be the best I'm going to do in terms of just coverage efficiency. So yeah. And I might eventually need to put like one more like out here somewhere once the cities have sort of mushed up together. Or I might run one out of the main hub to there, actually. Dunno. But anyway, for now though, this'll do. And since I'm taking the tram track and I'm going to be cutting through there anyway, I think I'm actually going to get rid of this stop. And I'm going to move it over. So yeah, let's put in that stop is just going to be moved just around the corner, like right here, maybe. Yeah, here. Yeah, for my passenger stops, I like to go a little more regular, just because the more frequently you go, the more people you'll get, like going from, like, say, a house here to a industry there. And so with these sorts of things, you do actually get a little bit more out of doing like a lot of stops. Now, less stops is more efficient, but it's less like total coverage. See where we'll go. Put in one there on that little through bit. And we'll want one maybe there. And then let's put one. Oh, I've been putting in cargo stops, haven't I? Of course I have. Because why would I be sensible and put in the correct sort of stop? Being sensible is for, you know, smart people. Anyway, now with the proper type of tram stop, and we'll put in one more right there, and that'll do it. And we'll switch it to just the visible lines. And I believe, I'll bet you 17 is, yep. So after Chester Road there, we're going to extend it around to this bit. So let's see, so yeah, 16 delivers to there. 31 delivers to there. And let's see, where does 47 go? 47 does not exist. And so we'll let's see. Oh yeah, it doesn't even have any stops. Yeah, we can just get rid of that. Well, actually, since we need a new one to come out to there anyway, well, that means I'm going to need to try and find a way to squeeze another platform in here. That's going to be a tough ask. Yeah, because I can't shorten that. See, what I might have to do, because that does actually hook up via there. So what I might have to do is get rid of this, put a road coming out here, and then immediately transition that into another cargo tram stop, and just have the extra trams like running through the middle. Because there's no way I can get away with carving any further into the mountain there. So yeah, I think I am going to have to just get rid of that little warehousey building. Bit of a shame, but well, it's gone now. Yeah, and we do have like more, you know, fancy types of entrance exits now. I'm just going to go with the standard one. So yeah, we want cargo. Turn it around, 2 left, none right. What are you collisioning with? Ah, that tunnel there. Okay, so, well, we only need 1 for now, so I can get 1 in. Actually, I think that I'm actually going to not put that in yet. I think I'm going to get the other stop in, and it should automatically hook the 2 up together if I line it up about right. Let's see. Let's make sure that this is, though, at exactly the right angle, because it doesn't seem to be quite lined up. And I do want this to be. Lined up pretty perfect. Yeah, there we go. And 30 meters, so trams can actually turn around in this. And it's collisioning with the tunnel. So yep, we will have to route that tunnel around. Well, I guess I could do like an S-bend and have the station stick out the other way. But no, we'll just whack that bit of the tunnel out. And I will put it back in with... And let's see. Yeah, while I'm at it, I think I'm going to upgrade to a proper road instead of the skinny one, because it upgraded to the ugly modern version. But anyway, yeah, I'm going to put this in like this. So I'm going to come out going like straight that way, and then I'm going to come get it to curve around to there. And that should let me put in what I want to put in. Well, actually, I may as well just take it right the way back and just bring this in an entirely different way. But let's see. Yeah, let's curve up to there, and then we can just go straight. There we go. Now the city should still be able to spread out here a little bit without it doing anything. Oh yeah, that tunnel was there originally just to give tram access out that way. That's right. But yeah, the city still can go ahead and spread out there. And I'm not gonna like be weird and get rid of the tunnel or whatever. And let's try and get this decently centered. With any luck, this will let me put in the other bit of stuff. Actually, I might try and see if I can squeeze it down in that way. Because you can usually put on an extra bit of platform there. Yeah, so I can do that. Can't get in another one, but I can do that. And then whack off the one from this end, which will give it a little more wiggle room over there. So yeah, there we go. And then that other line. It's gonna be, actually no, I want to put these in the other order. See, I will come over here and we'll grab this one. I actually want to put in that road stop second. There we go. And I could do this with one-way roads, actually. But now that would just make it even more convoluted. So now we'll do it this way. And then I think for now I only need like one, but I think I'll go ahead and add two just because I do have like a ton of money at this point, and I also have a ton of unused cargo trams sitting in the depot. And these are the older ones that are like the steam ones that are way higher emissions. But as I said, I do have like a bloody ton of them. And because of how many I do have, and the fact that I've already been using the older style trams over in that city, just simply because, you know, it's not the main city, and I'm not as concerned about getting it to, you know, grow massive in every way. I do want to deliver everything, but I am not as concerned about like keeping the emissions super low and getting it to grow super quickly and all of that stuff. So, yeah. Anyway. And I might actually remove that and replace the road, because it'll actually put it in as the older style bit of road. And that'll match up better with the other stuff in this area. Apparently it matches it to the area you put the depot down, or put the station in. So that one matches to this station, which went in old, and this station was put in more recently, so it's going to texture it more modern. Well, that's interesting, but whatever. Although I could just force it to match and put in both of them with the modded ones I've got here. In fact, I think I am going to go ahead and do that. And force both of those to be that modern style one. Yeah. I do wish that this would that this mod had more like old style, like cobbled street connection bits. Because one of the main reasons I got this was because I wanted the one-way ones that, you know, didn't look absolutely terrible. And what I really was hoping for was a one-way one that would match these. But it does have a one-way thing that does have the sidewalk. That actually doesn't really have sidewalks, but I still think it's better than having this bit of road be like half one style and half another. But, yeah. Anyway, that will at least allow any new buildings coming out that way, and those one or two, which honestly might have been like residences anyway, but it will allow buildings out here to now be supplied from this stoppage. See, yeah, it covers those two and those. Ooh, it actually doesn't cover the ones up there. Now that's not good. See, I think I'm going to need to put it a little further up the road there. Or maybe even move it over a road. Hopefully I don't have to move it over a road. That'll be a pain. Nah, yeah, I should be able to just put it there. So let's see. Anyway, let's grab and pin that one. And then we'll grab this one. And there appears to be... No, that is covered. That's just a graphical glitch. Or at least, hopefully, it's just a graphical glitch. Anyway. If one single small-size building isn't covered, then I guess, oh well. Wow, we're starting to get some, like, modern, tall buildings in here. I mean, I guess we are in, 1965. And it's filling up inside the little crater. Yeah, this city I originally put in just for the meme of having a city stuck inside a crater, but I decided to let it out and it just, like, exploded out that way because, it was... I mean, I put in most of that grid for it, but it's like, it's limited by all the train track here. And there's only, so much it can expand this way because, as it of all the train track stuff down that way, so it basically just exploded out this way. And it's actually, as that city's like up to there, and this city's like up to there. So yeah, I fully expect, and in fact, I think that just to make things hook up neatly and not do, normal Transport Fever 2 weirdness, I'm actually going to go ahead and hook that up into that intersection. And I'm going to hook that up into that intersection. And I'm going to hook that up into that intersection. And then it can do whatever weirdness it likes in the middle, but that should, keep it from doing anything too horrific. I don't really like the fact that it modernized that intersection, but it makes sense considering the way those roads are that are coming in. Although, I might be able, though, to get it to keep the old one if I do that. Yeah. Yeah, I don't like having that style of road in there, though. Let's see. Maybe if I make that bit be one way, then will it preserve the older intersection style? Oh no, we don't want that on yes, we want... because that doesn't need it. And that doesn't need it. And that doesn't need it. But yeah, that'll keep the old intersection style if I just make that little bit one-way road for absolutely no reason. It will leave in the intersection there. Actually, if I make that bit be one way going the other way, that little area will function sort of like a roundabout. It won't be, like, good, but it'll be, less weird than having a random bit of one-way road in there. So, yeah. Knowing the game, that block is big enough that it's going to put something, like, it might even put, something into those two, but if it puts in a couple of back alleys there, so be it. But I really don't want one there, so I'm going to leave that in there. Yeah, you know what, I'll just leave it. Like, it's fine having a weird, unnecessary bit of one-way road in there. Although I do think I will... No, actually, we are right-hand... let's see. Yeah, we're better off, oh, I know that, there we go, yeah. It's like City Skylines, you right-click it to flip it the other way around. Yeah. There we go. So yeah. That makes more sense anyway. And yeah, if I wanted to, I could go ahead and upgrade that bit into the modern road to let them go a little quicker there, but I'm not going to because old roads be pretty. Yeah, I don't know. It's like a nostalgia thing. I really do like the look of the old cobbled roads. Well, this has actually gone a bit interesting though, because I specifically locked all of those bits of old. Speaking of which, in case it tries to do anything weird, I'm going to double check that those roads are still locked. Which, thankfully, they are. Yeah, sometimes if you like build off of or modify a bit of road, it'll just kindly unlock it for you. But yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead though and hook those guys into the rest of the city because, yeah, it's definitely, yeah, I know exactly why it didn't connect those up. I had that road locked to not upgrade, but the city needed to build more roads. So it built off of the small section that I hadn't locked, which was that, and then spread down this way. But that really ought to be connected up, so we'll have a little bit running through into there. And we'll go ahead and put that bit in there. And we'll complete that funky little grid there. And let's see. And more trams. Oh yeah, the funky tram. Yeah, that tram already had a couple of variants, and I have a thing that adds a bunch more tram variants. So now that tram just has a stupid number of versions. Let's just snap that straight, yeah. There we go. So yeah, that properly integrates that funky little cut-off bit of the city. So yeah. Come on. And let's... Yeah, I think I'm just going to go ahead and finish gridding up this area. Keep the game from doing anything too dumb. Yeah, it'll probably let me do that if I go ahead and upgrade that bit to the same sort of road. We want curvy here. But yeah. Anyway, yeah. I think we're going to go ahead and connect that up because it seems reasonable that it would be connected up. Let's try and get a bit more. Well, actually, that actually does make sense though. Just that little, I don't know, sort of a continuation of that bit. And they might decide to do something strange in that block. It's big enough, but hopefully not. And let's just run a bit through there. And that should take care of that whole area. And then we'll go ahead and run this bit along. And I don't think I want to completely take out the corner of that cliff there. So I think I'm actually going to do a curving bit. Ooh. Wonder what was up with that cost, saying it was... probably I was actually out of money, and then a couple of big trains came in. Yeah. And I think we'll go ahead and do that as a nice curvy bit. And then we'll just start connecting up some of those blocks and just finish this off and let the cities grow into it. And we definitely didn't need this, at least not anytime soon, but... Actually, I might go ahead and make that the semi-roundabout, because I'm going to want to bring up another block off of there, so that we don't create another additional junction. And I don't want it modernizing those intersections. So yeah, and if we're going to do it that way, I'm actually going to reverse both of those. So now they can use the that way lane as well as those two, sort of like it's a roundabout. Let's get back into the build instead of the upgrade menu before I accidentally ruin some of my nice old road. So yeah. So yeah, I'm just gonna upgrade this road all the way up and through, because that's gonna wind up because that's hooked up into this somewhat main road. So they might wind up using that back road a decent amount. And since that actually goes off to eventually become effectively the highway, I'm actually gonna go ahead and upgrade at least a little ways past where it becomes a dirt country road. But I'll just go out as far as I can, which is to here, and make it be the big road. And then I'll also... Ooh. There we go, a couple of our trains just came in. Yeah, I think I'm actually also going to just take this big entry road right back in through the... Ooh, wait, no, I didn't want to do that, because that's getting into the old part of the city. Oops, well, I just accidentally smashed an old road. So yeah, and that's where that's going to end, because I do not want to get rid of the nice, older cobbled streets. But it's not worth switching back the date, although that needs to go. And of course, just as I do that, I pay all of my maintenance costs. But then, you know, like 13 million worth in trains comes in, and it's fine. But yeah, that'll give us a nicer entry into the city there. And then we have I would, if I still had access to the cobbled roads, I'd go ahead and run that through as another main road all the way in and then to there. But nah, I'm not gonna wreck that road down into the city by making it all the modern. But we do have that main road that goes all the way up and out, and then that gradually transitions into that, which is the main connection into here, and also the road connection up this way. And then we have that comes down. And I don't think I'm going to bother putting in a highway system, at least not in this map. Once again, it's worth it in larger maps, and it's worth it if you do a lot of road transport. But as I do almost entirely rail, it's not really worth investing in massive highway infrastructure unless you're doing a large enough map that it's worth doing it for decorative purposes. But as this is like a small deserty map, the only reason it's even worth doing anything in there is just because this is like where a couple of large cities are going to be gradually merging together. Speaking of which, I think that city might have actually jumped. Nope, it's built roads there, but the actual. Ooh, wait, we have a ton of private vehicles trying to go through here.
Huh?
My thoughts exactly. Whoever's said, huh. Don't know where that came from, but whatever. Anyway, so. Okay, so. Okay, so you are going to this commercial building. Is over there. And your residential building is here. So I think we might need to start putting trams in some of the outlying towns. And then your industrial building is here. So yeah, and the main city I think has full tram coverage. But so that person's house is like down here. So they do actually have coverage, but it's a decent walk to the station. So maybe if I put in a tram in this town, maybe they will decide to do it. And yeah, I do like that cul-de-sac that I did. That's nice. Oh, and I'm gonna have to pause to do this if the game didn't just crash. Please. Oh, lovely. Well then. So that's a thing that just happened. Well, as my game just completely crashed, I don't, as I was planning on wrapping up fairly soon anyway, I don't think it's worth spending the next 10 minutes getting Transport Fever 2 to load only to play for another 5. But I was thinking about showing you at least a little bit of what Dwarf Fortress is like, just to see if you would be interested in not any of that in Dwarf Fortress. So yeah, I guess we'll pull up Dwarf Fortress. So yeah, I'm gonna show you what this is like, and you can tell me if you want me to do a series on this. So yeah, yeah, I tend to design my worlds with advanced parameters. The last one I did, I specifically wound up doing a bunch of weird stuff with erosion because I specifically wanted to try and make a fortress with sea cliffs in a but just because. But it didn't turn out great, but it turned out decent. But okay, so But yeah, so the basic setup here, this is like all the stuff for how it generates the world. Let's see. What I'm looking for right now is where the erosion stuff, because I remember that I basically turned it off in order to get sharp cliffs. Okay, so it does periodically erode cliffs. Okay, so yeah, I'm just gonna keep whatever the heck this is, and we will go ahead and create up a world in Dwarf Fortress. So yeah, this is a good example of the sort of graphics Dwarf Fortress generally has. So like mountains, deserts, and various greens are different forests and hills. So yeah, and Dwarf Fortress, consider it looks like it's an extremely simple, low-tech game, and I think I actually need to turn down the game audio a little here. Yeah, that's coming through decently loud. Let's see. Yeah, that's a bit more reasonable. So, as you can see, this is like this is rejected 47 versions of the world map because it'll try to make it and something will go wrong and it'll just give up. So, yeah. But right now, I'm just going to try to generate this world and look at picking an embark location and see if we can't find something that, you know, looks interesting. Depending on what sort of game I go for, sometimes I intentionally do something with an aquifer, which is like groundwater, but it tends to make it a bit harder. But yeah, like, and I will sometimes, you know, create like half a dozen worlds, look through them for embark locations, and reject them all myself. Especially with the last one, I said I was specifically trying to get a cliff thing, so I needed one with a mountain biome directly next to an ocean biome. And not only that, but I wanted to have it spawn in certain creatures, so I specifically needed it to be a good aligned ocean biome. But anyway, yeah, this is gonna take a little while to run, but let's see. You still actually there in the chat, Amber? No. Either way, with any luck, you'll come back and rewatch the second half of the stream, and then you can give me your thoughts on whether you want to actually run a Dwarf Fortress series or not. Yeah. My friend Jeff is a lot better at this game than I am, although he does play with a texture pack, which does make it so that it uses, you know, regular 2D graphics, but I've only ever played with the character art. I honestly think that's like half the charm of the game. Definitely makes it a little harder, but yeah, if you guys do want to see Dwarf Fortress craziness, but don't like having to, you know, interpret the ASCII art, and I just realized I had cutscenes turned off from when I was, you know, repeatedly generating the worlds. So after this, I'm gonna I can probably open up a new instance of it, turn the cutscenes back on, if I can remember. I think you actually turn the cutscenes on in one of like configuration in like a separate file, I believe. Anyway, while that's going, let's pull this up and let's see. Should be like a dot. Once again, I believe it was this. I know it was one of these .txt's that lets you change some of the settings. It was a while ago that I did that I messed around with the settings. Anyway, let's see. So yeah, it's mostly done with. Yeah, and judging by how slow this is running, I'm probably going to want to restart my computer. I'm guessing something went seriously wrong when Transport Fever crashed. But this is running well enough. So yeah, and now it's just running the history, and you can let this run for a while, and it'll have a bunch of like towns and settlements pop up. But I usually don't actually bother letting that run for very long, because all it does is like takes up a bunch of prime settlement locations, and I'm like, I don't particularly need that, and secondly, it's like that you only really get much benefit from that if you're playing in adventure mode, which is a thing. I've never actually played it, but you can, you know, go on a D&D style adventure in the world of Dwarf Fortress. But I usually just do the normal fortress thing. But anyway, yeah, we will use this world as it currently exists and accept it. And so now this is going to save this world, so we can always go back and look through it for embark locations again. But for now, we are just going to go through and just see if we can find a place to start a fortress. Maybe do some of the initial setup type stuff, as it just see if this is, you know, the sort of game that you guys think you might like to see me try and do a series on. As it, and since I haven't, you know, actively gone through and changed a bunch of settings to make it easier. So yeah. Anyway, so now we would need to go into start playing and pull that up. But let's see. Let's see. Yeah, I need to look up where the thing is, but anyway, so that should be. Oh no, we don't want continue playing. We want start playing. I'm gonna. I actually don't know which one that was. I'm gonna guess it's saved under region 15 because that's looks to be the most recent one. Yeah, because it always writes like the world names and everything in Dwarvish, but it also writes them in English up there. So English is the one you get and remember, but then when this comes up, it's in the Dwarvish stuff. So yeah. Anyway, this might be one of the various worlds I made when desperately trying to make sea cliffs happen. So if that's the case, then this is going to be a very different world. But as it is, even if it is one of the worlds that I made trying to make sea cliffs, then we'll just go ahead and use it anyway. But yeah, for now, yeah, this was the one that it was making. So yeah, so like you go through, and so this map here is showing you like the entire world all zoomed out. Then this one here is just showing you a big view of the general world like around your cursor. So like each of these tiles is like the main biome in that area, and then this shows you the actual makeup of that specific tile. Like this shows that that's like grassland, that's forest, that's a river flowing through it. And it says that in that little section is the map that we would actually be playing in. So it says that it has clay, some soil, deep metals, and a flux stone layer. I'm honestly surprised that didn't have an aquifer, although it is a decent ways from the ocean. But, so like, and you see it says the name of that stream, and then so yeah. But anyway, as one would guess from something called Dwarf Fortress, it's generally a good idea to build your thing on a tile. Ooh, oh, that's actually interesting. This is a freshwater lake. Let's see. So yeah, it's. Let's see. So yeah, I might like maybe use like this bit or something. Yeah, because it doesn't have an aqua. Oh, it does over here. So, but yeah, most of this mountain actually doesn't have an aquifer. It's actually, so yeah, just well, I'm just to do some exploratory stuff. I'm actually going to set this to the smallest size because I actually want to see does any no none of these mountain tiles actually have an aquifer, which is nice. So that means I can dig straight down there and not worry about it. And some, but not all of that lake has aquifer. And we've got grassland. Oh, okay, so it's a temperate freshwater marsh there. And then down here on the other side is also temperate freshwater marsh. We could take from down here and get that that temperate freshwater swamp with the forest, but I'm liking this little outcropping of mountain here. Yeah, so in Dwarf Fortress, you do want to have access to some trees, but once again, we can always come back to this. But I'm actually thinking that unless I find something else particularly interesting, that we might come back for that lake. So yeah, if you're still here in the chat, you can remind me. It's there in the middle of the main map, like inside of that little nook in the mountain, and then there's that little lake. But anyway, I'm gonna go around and look other places. See if I can. Yeah, because I like building into a little spur of the mountain. It tends to make interesting fortresses for Dwarf Fortress. So let's see. So yeah, let's see. So that's a desert there, and then we've got a river there. We've got grassland, and we've got mountain. Yeah, nah. Well, actually, I haven't made it something with a desert biome, but I don't have any particular interest in trying that unless you desperately want me to down there in the chat. So there's a mountain peak, and it never lets you build on like these high mountains. It just doesn't like letting you do that. Yeah, I kind of like the idea of doing a mountain lake start. So we've actually got a couple more mountain lakes up here. Ooh, and this one's got a lot more forest. And we could also grab that section there that has like a river coming through the mountain. So that'll actually give us, so yeah, if we like build up our base in that section there, and that gives us that temperate conifer forest, and we can take a chunk of that lake to get interesting lake stuff. And we've got mountains. So yeah, that could be interesting down there. Let's see what's up with this mountain lake. Yeah, we still got a bit of that forest in those two bits. So yeah, we could also go with this. See, and these like right next to to like a couple of big cities from the like pre-gen cultures. Okay, so this is another thing. So like there where it says like surroundings, that'll tell you like the general stuff that'll tend to come up in that area. So a sinister surrounding means that it's like evil stuff there, so you're more likely to have to deal with like evil type monsters. So, and to be perfectly honest, I am not good enough at the game to actually deal with monsters successfully. I think pink mountains though are actually nope, haunted, also evil stuff. Yeah, in generic Dwarf Fortress, lots of things want to kill you. Yeah, wilderness is like the basic. So, like an area that like there, it's like surroundings calm. So that means that like things that are calm will tend to be less of an issue, and things that have like yeah, there's a so like the surroundings thing, it runs on like your typical D&D um alignment system of chaos versus law and good versus evil, and you can generally tell from what that surroundings thing says what they are. So like there are 3 for good aligned, 3 for chaos aligned, 3 for law aligned, 3 for evil aligned. And I believe calm is none of them. Or no, sorry, wilderness is the neutral, I believe. And calm is like lawful neutral. Whereas untamed wilderness is chaotic neutral. And then you've got like sinister, haunted, and terrifying for the evils, and I believe it's joyous. I know joyful is one of the good aligned things, but we could also mess about with volcano stuff if we wanted to. once again, another thing that I haven't really done. Let's see. Serene is actually kind of nice. Serene, I believe, is another good align. So yeah, if we could get maybe something in those Serene mountains, have a at least somewhat chill thing with not very many above ground monsters. Although, to be perfectly honest, you're generally going to wind up digging deep underground and winding up with evil underground monsters anyway. But you can at least, do yourself a little bit of a favor and only have your underground monsters. But I don't know. Yeah. And because Dwarf Fortress, you do kind of need to, build in a at least somewhat mountainous area because, this game 100% plays into all of the generic dwarf stereotypes, you know, all the normal stuff like, the elf racism, the making things out of stone, the whole craftsman thing. Let's see. Let's do a little bit of exploring around this area. So mirthful, serene, and joyous are the three good aligns, I believe. But yeah, so good aligned tend to be slightly less dangerous, and lawful aligned tend to be slightly less dangerous. So I believe serene is like the least dangerous possible um, area. So yeah, we've got wilderness surroundings, and wilderness surroundings will spawn some stuff that's not, very dwarf friendly, but not like a ton of it. So let's see. This could be interesting because we have a bit of freshwater marsh with no aquifer. Then we've got mountain. It's a hot mountain, which is fine. This whole area is hot, but so long as you're building mainly underground, that doesn't generally matter. So yeah, we could go with that good aligned random mountain in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, I'm sorry if this content suddenly took a nosedive and became extremely boring, but I wanted to do something. Let's see. So yeah, we could do another volcano thing if we could do a volcano thing here if we wanted. There's a decent few volcanoes around on this map. Oh, we got another good aligned mountain range over here. Another. Ooh. Okay, so we've got Serene here, which means I'm the least likely to manage to screw literally everything up. I actually don't remember. Do you get any, benefit in Dwarf Fortress for settling really close to an existing city? Let's see. Um, let's see. Let's see. Yeah, I think that it actually that might be an older version because I've noticed that it tends to not let me settle on top of an existing settlement. Okay, let's see. So, yeah, looking at some of the stuff in here kind of explains to you, um, you know, yeah. But anyway, so I don't know. It might like give us some trade caravans more often if we settled, here in this mountain range. It's like right next to a bunch of dwarven cities. It, see, okay, so that is sinister terrain with a good aligned mountain. So I don't think we want to settle though with sinister tundra. That would really cripple the early fortress because no wood access. Um, and yeah, I think we might try and find a serene bit of mountain range, maybe. I don't know, but you know what? Um, I think I'm gonna go for that single bit of there's like a single bit of serene hot mountain peak over here, or no, it wasn't serene though, it was like um yeah, mirthful. Yeah, actually, you know what? Obviously, this section here with like a ton of dwarven cities in it is good for dwarven cities, so I'm gonna find a bit here. And I like to build like at the end of a mountain bit, just personal preference, or in like a dip into the side. Mm, mm, so yeah, we could like take like that chunk maybe, because that's like right next to a couple of dwarven cities. Or we could maybe go like up here. I'd like a bit where I can. Ooh, that's kind of nice. Yeah. So yeah, I think I might go with like that chunk. That gives me a decent amount of mountain. That gives me a river to work with early on, and that gives me a decent chunk of forest. I'm gonna look around just a little bit more. I like that little dip into the cliffs there. And I can actually make a smaller than normal map area just in case trying to run Dwarf Fortress and OBS gives me some performance issues. I think I will still. Oh man. I think we'll do like that bit. That gives us a decent amount of mountain, at least a little bit of forest. And we can also, you know, go down into lower layers. So if I do another little bit that way though, I can also get like have mountain with, you know, screw it. My PC may not be great, but Dwarf Fortress actually isn't that resource heavy, so I am going to make a pretty big map. I've gotten away with a lot bigger than that. So yeah, I think that's where we're going to embark to. And we'll hope that you don't, you know, hate this style. So one of the biggest things is you need to pick all of your dwarves' skills and items and stuff beforehand. You can, you know, make pre-generated stuff, but I find that that a good thing to do, especially early on, is to give basically all of your dwarves a couple of levels in mining. And you also do want one dwarf who is like your dedicated leader, though. And that one doesn't necessarily have to be good at mining, but you want like a bunch of dwarves, though, who are good at mining and enough pickaxes for all of them to, you know, mine. And then you need a couple that are, and then you need, you know, some various crafts and stuff to get you started. You can rely on a lot of, you know, dwarves with various oddball skills coming in over time. Like in the early, in the early game, you mainly though need to worry about mining, some woodworking type stuff, and masonry type stuff, and then anything. And then aside from that, it's basically up to you. But yeah, so I think that I'm gonna get one that's a woodcutter and a carpenter. And oh, you also do absolutely need building designer. I believe you need a. Well, although I tend to put like the building designer and architect and stuff into the one that's intended to be my leader. But I mean, as you can see, though, there is a lot of stuff here. Oh yeah, that's another one that you want a decent view of in the early game is fisherman. But I think this one's going to be miner, carpenter, and fisherman. This one's going to be miner, and I'll give him mason. And you also do want mechanic. So yeah, we'll give you a couple to fishermen. And I think you'll be in a mason. And let's see. And a stone crafter. And maybe wood crafter, carpenter, woodcutter. And and you notice I'm leaving a couple of points for all of them. I probably will wind up going back and, you know, chucking stuff into all of those. But for now, I don't think I'm going to do that to start off with. But like, yeah, and you can tell just from the skill list that, somebody who is actually really good at this game, which at this point I am definitely not, can get really complicated in terms of, how they spec their dwarves. And most people who actually know how to do more complicated stuff in this game wind up with a decent sized military as well. I've never really done that. I more just tend to try and settle in reasonably peaceful locations and then just hope my dwarves don't get murdered, which is honestly not the best strategy for this game, but whatever. Basically, the reason that's not the best strategy is it typically winds up with, a lot of murdered dwarves. But anyway, yeah, I think we'll give you Mason and Carpenter and um actually, yeah, sorry, it's been a little while since I've played this game, so yeah, Herbalist we definitely need, and we'll also want a whole bunch of them to have Grower. Herbalist is like picking wild plants and stuff, and Grower is like farming. And when you want a farm planted, if you don't have a ton of dwarves with a little bit in the Grower, so I actually think I'm going to just give literally all of my dwarves except for the leader 2 points in Grower. So let's see, yeah, that one's going to have 2 in Grower. And this one's also going to get a little bit in Herbalist. And I think this one will be, will wind up basically being the cook. So I'm giving this one farming, plant gathering, and I'm also giving him brewing and cooking. And then the leader, for this one, I'm just going to loop over to the bottom of the list, which is where a lot of like leadership skills are. So we want this guy to be a leader. And then, as you can see, there's a lot of stuff here. Let's see. We want a little bit in, honestly, a lot of this stuff. Like a praiser is actually pretty necessary because that lets you like do stuff with trading better. So I think I'm going to give him the 2 points in leader, and then I'm just going to do like 1 in like a bunch of these things. So I think flatter and pacifier help. And organizer, that'll let him be a manager decently well as well. So yeah. And then items. So I personally feel that it never gives you enough copper picks. But apparently I don't have enough points. Oh, I also know there's a lot of stuff that it gives you like way too many of. Like, I know, splints and crutches seem like they would be, critical supplies, but they're not. Same for quivers. Oop, I didn't mean to get rid of the wheelbarrow. You actually really do want a wheelbarrow, and you do want the buckets. So, let's see. Well, so N for new, and then I want, let's see, crutches. So yeah, I believe it's tools. Oh, don't tell me I can only get a copper wheelbarrow instead of the wooden one that it was defaulted to. I mean, I could just wait and make my own wheelbarrow, which would honestly probably be fine. But Yeah, apparently it's just going to be a pain and not let me actually get back that wooden wheelbarrow, which is fine, I guess. Yeah, all of these are copper, except for those which are nickel. But I do actually want a wheelbarrow. So yeah, apparently, well, that's definitely going to be, you know, probably the nicest wheelbarrow the settlement's going to wind up ever having, because I don't intend to ever actually produce metal wheelbarrows. But I might wind up getting rid of that just because I don't really, just because I'd be better off, you know, making a wooden wheelbarrow in the early game than actually putting that much into that. Let's see, in terms of animals, because it is nice getting like a breeding pair of some sort of good like milk producing animal, which there's no way I'm going to be able to do with that. I tend to go with alpacas just because alpacas, but yeah, alpacas or llamas are actually kind of nice for this, but let's see. No, I definitely, yeah, I'm gonna need to get rid of that wheelbarrow entirely, and I'll just, honestly, I can make a wheelbarrow, and I actually don't think we need a step ladder at all. So yeah, let's get 5 picks and 2 axes should be good, because I had 5 of my dwarves that I gave mine, and I think only gave like 2 of them wood cutting, and you do use the axes for wood cutting. And you definitely want a decent amount of um, the various alcohols, and in fact, I think I'm going to go in, because I believe there's a 4th alcohol. There is, and I'm going to get a decent amount of that too. Because one thing about dwarves, at least in Dwarf Fortress, is that you never want them to not be drunk. Um, let's see, and I've got, yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to get a breeding pair of animals in this embark, which is fine. You'll get animals eventually, but I don't know. I prefer to start out with them. Um, I know that is actually one thing you can do in the advanced world settings when you're generating is change this, but I forgot to, so I guess I'm not going to, because I do like to be able to bring like a bunch of stuff. But anyway, hmm. Yeah, and I have like 37 points left, so not really enough for any of the other things that are, you know, really good. So I think I'm just gonna wind up getting like an extra bit of decent. Actually, um, now I'll just invest in a little bit more of all of the different um, drinks just to keep the dwarves decently happy, and then I'll buy one more seed. Sure, there we go. So yeah, and well, while Dwarf Fortress is pretty obviously, you know, very slow to actually set up, and I'll get the chat just in case. Nope, nobody's been in the chat. But anyway, yeah, Dwarf Fortress is obviously kind of slow to set up, but it's amazing how quickly things can spiral entirely out of control. So anyway, so you have arrived after a long journey from the mountain homes into the forbidding wilderness beyond. Really, we're literally next door to like 5 cities. Your harsh trek has finally ended. Your party of 7 is to make an outpost for the glory of all Karakid. I'm guessing the name of the empire in this world generation. There are almost no supplies left, but with stout labor comes sustenance, whether by bolt, plow, or hook provide for your dwarves. You are expecting a supply caravan just before winter entombs you. But it is spring now. Enough time to delve secure lodgings ere the dingoes get hungry. A new chapter of Dwarven history begins here at this place. Rodimus. Weighted Mines, because I completely forgot to rename the fortress, so I guess that's what it's called. Strike the Earth. You know, I don't think I've ever actually played Dwarf Fortress with the sound on. But anyway, we're going to pause this here, and I'm going to find where I want to start digging into the wall for my fortress. So, as you can see, we've got, like... So, Dwarf Fortress... Let's see if I can... Yeah, nope. Let's see. Oh, blast. It's been... Oh, there we go. There's the up-down. So yeah, Dwarf Fortress, as you can see, is full 3D, but with 2D ASCII art graphics, which is an interesting combination to say the least, but it works. So yeah, it's less than is up and greater than is down. So yeah, and going up here, you can see that this mountain has like a little plateau up there and keeps on going right up. And there's actually, yeah, this is actually pretty shallow mountains. It only goes up like a few layers, which is kind of to be expected considering it's like the foothills of the mountain and it has a river cutting through the middle. So this is very much like a little, or very eroded river valley. But I like to first dig my fortress into like one of the little inset bits, because then I can clear off the stuff around it, like sheer rock faces. And then that makes it fairly defensible for like later in the game, just because that's how I like to do it. Let's see. Yeah, I think we'll also want to do something a little closer to the middle of the map so stuff can't, like, you know, just jump out and surprise me. But, so, you see there's, like, all these different symbols. Like, that symbol means that that's a gemstone or an ore of some sort. And just, like, all of these different symbols on the rock represent what it is specifically. See, is there any microclean? I like that stone. And if there is any, I'm going to start digging in there. Yeah, it's a very pretty bluish stone that I like to make as much of my fortress out of as I possibly can. But nah, I think we're just going to start our fortress here, and we're going to start by digging on into the mountainside a little bit. So, let's see. I believe... sorry, reading through this stuff up here to, or mouse actually work. This stuff up here to remind myself how you do all the various things. So let's see. So, oh, you know, yeah, D for designations is also for dig, and then D again is for mining. And in Dwarf Fortress, it's a good idea to just go right on ahead and start off by just mining into a rock face. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wide here. And I tend to prefer odd number width hallways. This makes it easier in the early game. So I think we're gonna make our entry. Well, we could also do it like over here and like dig out that much and make it like 5 wide. See, I believe that is rock salt is what that mineral is there. Which is not that bad to dig into actually. Yeah, I think we're gonna go with here. So we'll want yeah, let's start off by just digging a straight hallway back a decent bit. So I usually wind up with like pretty small, almost cubby hole-ish, like generic dwelling bits. And I think I'm gonna go ahead and just put in my usual 3x3 dwellings for my starting dwarves. And I can go ahead and whack out the walls between these later on. And turn these into my craft halls, extend them back a little ways, and just make those be the craft halls. So, see, although actually I'm going to want to leave a decent amount of space here, because I actually do want to have a bit of a grand entryway. I like to keep my hallways at least 3 wide, with like pillars sticking out into them a little ways. But I think I'm going to try and make my main entry hall here pretty big eventually. So yeah, I think we're going to go with like a 5 wide initial hallway here. And then we'll go ahead and put the these are going to be the entries to the various dwarves' rooms, and then we'll put in doors at the ends of these hallways here, and then this much of it will wind up just being completely cleared out, and then I'll leave like there and there and there as like pillars just for decorative. But anyway, I'll actually show you. So turn on marker only, so we'll eventually dig out there, there, and there. Like that. Yeah. So yeah, we'll eventually like dig out like that, and so we'll have a nice big hallway with like the decorative pillars that go in. And you are actually better off carving your fortress out of the raw stone of the mountainside than actually building it out of like stone brick and stuff, because you can't do like any of the fancy engraving stuff with stone brick, and so you can't actually get it as high beauty level, which will keep your dwarves happier if you make your fortress beautiful. So anyway, let's see, I believe, yeah, Z remove, although, let's see. Ooh, and that might actually not be the best place to put it though, because we have like a 1 thick ceiling over most of that. Oop, I didn't want that. So yeah, like as you can see, up to like there, we don't really have a proper ceiling. Yeah, this is sloping backward real quick. So actually, I'll probably wind up just completely carving all of that out open to the sky in order to set my entryway back in. But for now, I think we'll go ahead and put in like our initial housing there, and I'll get rid of those up ramps as well. And then, oh wait, I need to turn off marker only. Or no, we want Z to remove up ramps and stairs. There we go, that'll do it. Okay, now back into dig. So anyway, so yeah, our hallways. So our next hallway, I think, is only going to be 3 wide, and it's going to come up to there. So we're going to want a little junction area there, and then I think we'll actually want our staircase going up and down, starting there. So that'll allow us to go up levels, although not very many levels with that one, but it'll also let us go down levels, like right off the bat. And we'll put in another junction like that with a staircase in the middle after just a little bit. But for now, that ought to do. So I can go ahead and resume, and my dwarves over here, at least, yeah, a few of them are going to And you see how that's flashing, that means that those are going to be mined out, like right now. And some of the other dwarves have just gone off, like wandering around. Actually, I think I'm going to go ahead and designate some trees to be chopped down while I'm at it. And it's actually a decently good idea to chop down trees fairly early, because it doesn't, like, they will grow back in areas that grow trees. And the elves in the game will fairly early on basically come and, you know, demand that you only cut down a certain number of trees a year. And that actually does slow down progress, at least a little bit. And so it's generally just a little better to go ahead and do it early. But anyway, so we come up here and we see they're getting to work pretty quickly. Especially since I do have a decent few mining dwarves and a decent few picks. But anyway, so once again, we're going to start these hallways off just one block, but they're going to get bigger. But so we're going to need fairly early on a storage room and some craft hall space. So this, I think, if we don't wind up turning it into the main entry, which I actually think we're going to do. So if we wind up whacking the main entryway back to there, we'll actually want I think I'm going to do the tavern this side because we can build it down into this area. So I think we're going to put in a trade hall here. So yeah, let's make a trade hall. And actually, I think I'm going to do, so that's 3, and then an alley, and then 1, 2, 3, and then an alley, and then 1, 2, 3. So that's going to be the trade hall. Wait. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, and then that's going to be the walk space. And then 1, 2, 3, then a walk space. And 1, 2, yeah, okay, so yeah, that's right. That is right. And then we also are going to need a decent sized storeroom in the early game as well. So yeah, I'll go there, and we'll come to the same basic size there, and 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So yeah, and I think we'll just do a single entry into the middle of that storeroom there. Although that actually, if I want though to do my consistent columns thing down the middle, we actually let's see, where would the columns wind up being if I were to do the normal thing? So let's see, so yeah, we would have a, okay, so let's go into planning mode. So that would all be dug out in marker only, and that would all be dug out, and then we would dig out that, leave that as a pillar, and actually no, not all of that would be dug out. So yeah, we'd have a pillar there, okay, so yeah, we'd be having our rooms coming off there, so we would dig that out. Okay, so yeah, I believe that's, yeah, because we usually enter the, because I like to keep the 3x3 grid. I like to enter from, yeah, and leave that where the walls would be, so actually, so yeah, we would actually want to, run that all the way up through the middle there, and then we'll just leave a, gap there for walking, and we can actually just run 3 connections through. Be nice and gritty and efficient and dwarven. And so yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and let this run for a little bit. And I appear to have gone on a little longer than I originally intended to, but since we are starting Dwarf Fortress, I want to go for at least long enough to give you guys some vague idea of what the game is like. It is definitely very slow in places, especially, you know, when you're just, you know, mining out your first initial few rooms, but Dwarf Fortress does get pretty crazy as time goes on. And I actually think that part of the reason that this was, oh yeah, it actually wound up turning the game speed down as well, and yeah, I need to remember how to get those settings back so I can, like, you know, turn up the game speed and a few other things. That's all stuff that you can do, is turn up the game tick speed to make all this stuff go faster, and there's a lot of other stuff like that. But yeah, and yeah, as soon as they start getting that stuff mined out, like once that's mined out, we're gonna make it a stockpile and start moving in the stuff from the wagon. Once that's all mined out, we'll go ahead and start putting in crafts tables there. And once we've got in our crafts tables, we can start making doors and beds and give all the dwarves bedrooms, and then they'll start being at least a little bit less miserable. And the thing is one of your dwarves going, you know, completely nuts and killing half the fortress is, to be perfectly honest, a proper common occurrence in Dwarf Fortress. Like, if you don't have a few dwarves, you know, go mad and start wrecking things, it's almost as if you're doing something wrong, to be perfectly honest. So, yeah. That's just how Dwarf Fortress is, I guess. But anyway. But yeah. But, and we do have a few fisher dwarves in the party, so for now they should keep themselves at least sort of fed, but since it's not actually being cooked into, you know, good food yet. Another thing we can do is, let's see, where's zoning is, okay, so zoning is I. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and start making gathering zones. I tend to wind up by like the end of the game just having the entire map covered in gathering zones. Just so yeah, just set. Yeah, so it basically just wind up setting like everything to be gathering, so that whenever your dwarves are hungry, they can just, you know, go out and gather food. And that definitely makes the food situation a lot easier, at least early on. I don't think I actually set that top right one, so I'll go back and do that once I've got the rest of this done. Yeah. One thing I do wish, though, is that it would let you run the game while you're in the menus. Because there is a decent amount of just, you know, sitting and waiting for your dwarves to do things, especially in the early game of Dwarf Fortress. But anyway, the dwarves have nearly mined out enough room for the first craft hall, and I actually think that I'm going to go ahead and up the priority on a little bit of this, in order to just get some craft halls built. So I am going to up the priority on that much. And that bit. And that bit. So that'll give us enough room for a few, like little craft buildings. We can put in a few. And that way we can start, you know, making like beds and stuff. Oh no, I'm an idiot. Priority 1 is what we want. That'll make them do it faster. Priority 5 will make them do it slower. Anyway, oh no, that's actually up to a higher priority. So yeah, we should see dwarves deal with that pretty quickly. I'm guessing we've got a decent few dwarves like out gathering right now. Let's see, if I go into jobs, that should tell us. Yeah, we've got 3 fishing, 2 gathering plants, 1 digging, and then the expedition leader isn't doing anything because, in typical dwarvish noble fashion, he actually, you know, doing manual labor is beneath him, and he will just stand around and manage everybody, which in the early game I probably should have given him, you know, at least 1 level of skill in like mining or something. But in the later game you really do want your manager dwarves to just be managing. But I said we will gradually get to the point where we do prefer it this way anyway, so. But yeah. I said I think that I'm at least gonna take this. Yeah, remember the correct thing, and then carpenter. But yeah, I think I'm at least gonna take this until we have, you know, like beds and doors and stuff. So yeah, okay. This is the thing that's, you know, one of my favorite jokes in Dwarf Fortress. I always like making items out of nice, because then I can say that I made a nice whatever. The GNEISS. It's great. But anyway, I think I'm gonna go ahead and make these out of mica so that I can save the nice for making nice goblets and nice jewelry and other nice craft items. But yeah. Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, you really can't make, like, unlike RimWorld and other similar games, you can't really manage your dwarves directly. You do have to actually, you know, hope that they decide to do the stuff. Actually, I think I'm gonna let's see. So space 1, 2, 3. Actually, no, I don't need space. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then we don't actually want that dug out yet. So yeah, and we currently only have 1 dwarf actually mining, which is mildly annoying, and nobody is constructing the building because I actually don't think I remembered to give anybody the building designer. Well, I might have completely screwed myself if I did forget to give any of my dwarves the building designer skill, which I'm pretty sure I did forget to give any of my dwarves the building designer or architect skills. So that's a thing. Well, I guess you can already see how Dwarf Fortress can completely fail. So I actually need to go ahead and abort this game entirely. Yeah. This is a lost cause. So, yeah. We're gonna abandon this fortress to ruin. We'll effectively get rid of that save game. And then when we go back in, there will be that ruined fortress with a little tiny bit of work that we did, and and at least most of our items dumped on the floor. So we can, go in there and unforbid the items and get a little bit of a jump on things when we go back in and try again with a dwarf who's actually capable of designing buildings. But anyway, so yeah, I have successfully completely screwed up a episode of Dwarf Fortress and had a horrific crash and my episode of Transport Fever 2. So I guess that's probably going to be it for today. So yeah, we're going to quit Dwarf Fortress and